JT from the Poco Moonshine family. We're back again with another episode of Chatting with Carnivores. Today we got Jeff from Everyday Carnivore. Every day is a carnivore day for Jeff. You guys, he is not playing around with carnivore. How you doing, Jeff?
Good, great to meet you, JT, and good to see everybody. Um, Happy to be here.
Yeah, likewise, man. I was watching your content today, and I really enjoy it. I think you've got a lot of interesting victories we're going to get into. But let's start
Hmm.
out. Where are you from, and where are you at now, Jeff?
Oh, sure. As you can see in the background, yeah, right over here, I'm from Canada. I'm still a Canadian citizen, but I live in Alabama. So if
Oh man.
you look over here, I have the custom-made home map in the background. So I've lived in the U.S. for more than half of my life, and about the last 15 years of that is in Alabama. Yeah.
Wow. What's your favorite part about Bama?
Well, I really like not having to shovel snow. That's a big win.
Yeah, up in
Um,
Canada, there's a lot of it.
I feel like I'm a person that could be happy living in a lot of different places. And really, my wife is from Alabama, and we met and lived in Tennessee for probably about 10 years. And then at some point, I was changing careers, and I could suddenly move anywhere. And I asked her, if you could live anywhere in the country, where would you pick? And she kind of said, well, about 10 minutes away from my parents would be awesome. And so, I enjoy Alabama, so I was happy with that.
So you listen to your wife?
Yeah,
It's a
most of
smart
the
thing to
time.
do.
I try hard.
They say the smartest husbands out there usually listen to their wives, and I tend to agree with that. So, what was your battles with food like growing up? Did you have any battles as a kid with food, or did it just mostly come as an adult?
Yeah, I was a super active kid. And so, until I was a young teen, I was rail thin. But as I got into high school, I did start putting on some weight, but I was super active. I played every sport. That sport was my favorite part of school. So I wanted to be on every team, play everything. And so I kind of kept the weight at bay. But as I got married
Started
and,
eating more.
slowed down, I started putting on a little more here and there. And so, I got to where I was just carrying a little extra weight year after year. And so I probably started my battle. I've never really, you know, tried to pick the beginning point, but probably I got married at 22, and probably by about 27 or 28 years old, I started to battle my weight to try and keep it in check. And I never really got obese. I never got huge, right? But I was overweight to the point where I was starting to get close to that obese mark. And that was even just a year and a half, 2 years ago. I was
Mm,
at 256 pounds at my highest. But
That's about what I was at, 254, 256.
yeah. But in that gap, I mean, there was a lot of struggles. There was a lot of trying different diets. I tried all kinds of different diets, and it just seemed like I would just put on a little extra weight here and there, and diets would work for a little while until they didn't. They would work until there was a problem, some kind of reaction to what I was doing,
What
or
diets did you try, Jeff?
um, well, the first one that was somewhat successful for me was Atkins, which, looking back on it, that's in the right direction of
It's similar to
carnivore
keto,
and
right?
keto.
Could you
Yeah.
explain what Atkins is? I've heard of it. I know Jeff from Subway did it, but I never I never looked into it.
Well, it was like before everyone knew that keto and carnivore could be good and healthy. And so Atkins was trying to promote all the meat and cheese and that kind of stuff. And they would really talk about healthy fats a lot.
Hmm.
And, but I think everyone back then was still so scared of fat that we didn't really take that seriously. and it didn't have the same focus on going against carbs that keto and carnivore really focus on.
Mm-hmm.
So I know, for example, I remember eating like mozzarella sticks. That was an okay thing according to my version of what I understood Atkins to be, which I would never really consider that okay on keto or carnivore, but it's in the right direction, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I started having some success with that. I lost about 30 or 35 pounds. I was feeling really great. I was still a young guy, still pretty active. And I went to the doctor and, for my annual physical, and they did the blood work. And he walked in and he said, "Jeff, you have great scores in your blood work for a 65-year-old guy who's about to have a stroke." And I was like, what in the world? And he was trying to scare me, and it worked. And back then, I didn't even know what cholesterol was or where you got it. And I remember asking him, like, well, how do you get that? And and he started naming all these foods, meat and cheese and dairy, and I was like, well, that's everything I'm eating, And he said, well, you want to kill yourself, just keep it up. So I stopped doing it. And to be fair, I don't remember the exact number, but I think my cholesterol was in the high 400s. So back then, that was not something that you ever heard of. And every doctor would have told you were crazy if you kept doing that, So I went away from Atkins. I tried paleo. I tried Mediterranean. I tried the potato diet at one point, which is only potatoes, as many potatoes as you want to
You're
eat.
kidding me.
Oh, no, only potatoes.
Did the weight come back when you tried all these diets after Atkins?
Well, like after Atkins, I went to standard American diet again for a while. The weight came back. Then I would try something else. I might lose some, but not that much. And then it just seemed like like paleo felt good for a while, but I just had so many cravings that I just couldn't keep doing it. Mediterranean, I just felt like I never got anywhere. I just didn't really lose weight. I just kind of stopped gaining it. The potato diet, I ended up that actually worked really well as a starvation diet because potatoes are super boring,
Yeah.
right? People are worried about getting bored on the carnivore diet, just eating steaks and bacon and stuff.
Try
I'm
the
like,
potato diet,
well,
right?
you want to get bored, you just go eat potatoes. And but it was working really well until I found out that I was shaving my head one day and I nicked my head and it wouldn't stop bleeding. And I realized I must not be getting enough iron. And so I had to make a change. I can't just go through life scared to death. And if I start bleeding, I might die. So that was the end of that one.
Mm.
I did tomato based cabbage soup kind of diet. Did you ever hear of that one?
Mm-mm. No, these are
So,
all first for me. I'm very interested in potato everything.
so the cabbage soup one actually worked okay, except there was so much acidity in the tomatoes, and just eating that all the time, I started breaking out like crazy in my mouth and throat with canker sores. Because I used to get canker sores. You know what? That is a benefit on carnivore that I've never identified. I've
I
been
don't think
doing
you
this a
mentioned
long
that one on
time.
your list of 20. You
I
left canker sores off there.
I
Now you got
totally
21.
thank you. You learn something every day. So
Yeah, it's like with carnivore, I feel like there's those like carnivore epiphanies. Like you don't notice you're not suffering from something until all of a sudden you're like, oh man, yeah, now that I think about it, that hasn't happened. And it's like
yeah.
my wife's getting those moments. I'm getting those moments where I'm like, yeah, actually I don't really use the foam roller for my back anymore. Like, huh.
Yeah.
you just keep going on, and you almost feel so good you don't realize that you're not feeling so bad.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. It's like the problem went away, out of sight, out of mind. Yeah.
Mhm. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So what were the health issues that really drove you to the point where you're like, "Dude, I gotta give this carnivore diet a try and at least try something?"
Yeah, it really was the weight, because I just felt like I was getting to the point. I know, one of the things I really enjoy doing is playing volleyball, and
Mm,
I don't play competitively, but volleyball has been a sport that's been around most of my life, and my daughter plays, and we have a church family night game that I like to play in about twice a month, and I could still play, but I would come home and my knees would swell up.
mm.
Well, I would jump a lot. I'm a tall guy, so I'm blocking and hitting, and it's understandable, some wear and tear on your knees, but they would swell up to the point where it was hard to bend down to tie my shoes. It was hard to come up the stairs at work and that kind of thing. So it's like, man, I'm 47 years old, or back then 46. Like, what am I going to be doing in 20 years, 30 years? Like, I'm not going to be able to do anything. So I really needed a solution for long term changing my weight, my overall health. But I had no idea all the different benefits. You mentioned my list of like 20 different benefits or whatever.
That was a great list.
I had no idea how many different ways it would really impact me and benefit me. Yeah.
Yeah, you were saying, in that video, someone was like, "Well, has it cured everything?" And you're just like, "Well, maybe not everything, but just a dang bout."
Yeah, yeah. The only two things that I could think of after hearing that question was my vision, because I wear glasses when I'm reading mainly, and then my hearing is
Hearing.
not very great. Which I've worked in places where it was a lot of loud noise for hours, and didn't wear ear protection because that was not cool.
You were a tough
So
guy.
do what now?
You were a tough guy.
Well, it's tough and stupid, I guess,
Yeah,
because
that's usually what happens. They come together though, don't they?
yeah, yeah. So, yeah, besides those two things, I really don't have any health problems anymore. And,
What's
you
your
know,
favorite non-scale victory, would you say?
hmm, favorite non-scale victory. You know, I'm used to asking the questions. I'm not used to answering quite as often. Um,
Is it the volleyball? Are you still playing volleyball?
I do really enjoy getting to go and play hard and not feel any effects after the fact.
I bet you would miss that though if you couldn't do that
Yeah,
no more, right?
absolutely, absolutely. That's a really big one. Another one is just the level of drive and energy and perspective that I've gained over the past year of being carnivore. And if you're a young person and you haven't lived life where you're just going through the motions and just dreading day after day and that kind of thing, it might not be obvious, but if you've lived like that for a decade or 2 decades and you start eating different, and that changes your ambition and your drive and your passion, your interest in different things, your willingness to learn, like, that's life changing.
You're making me want to almost jump up out of my seat. I'm getting so excited listening to that, man. It was hard to contain myself. I was like, yes, let's go, Jeff. Love it, dude. What are
Yeah.
you eating in a week of carnivore eats for you?
Um, so I typically eat about 2 pounds of meat a day. If I don't do that, I'm probably throwing some eggs in there, but a lot of ground beef or just hamburgers. I do steak now and then. During the summer, I was eating a ton of steak because there were good prices. Right now, not so much.
Oh man, I just bought a ribeye tonight for my gramps. That was $20 ribeye.
Yeah, yeah. So, any chance I get, I love getting nice steaks. I don't do a lot of seafood, but I will have fish from time to time. I don't really do a lot of chicken. I like chicken, but I find it doesn't fill me up. And so,
Me too. I'm
ch-
still kind of hungry with chicken. I don't know what
yeah,
that is.
chicken and turkey, they're just too lean. So, I actually, I used to work at Publix, and so I shop at Publix, and one of the things I'm always looking for what's on sale when I'm in the store. And so I happened to be going by the deli the other day, and they had the whole deli chicken that's already cooked, whatever. And they have different flavors. You got to be careful what flavor you grab, but I got one of their I guess it's a Cornish hen or whatever. It's a small chicken, and I ate the whole thing thinking, there's all the skin on the outside. I'll eat all the fat and everything. This will be a great meal. Well, it tasted great. I tore that thing up, but I was hungry like maybe 2 or 3 hours later. And I think it's just not enough fat to really
Mhm.
fuel a carnivore and satisfy. Um, and then I do eat pork too. So, like we're in Alabama, you're going to do some pulled pork, especially during football season, right? So, I
What
cook
about
that.
bacon?
I cook that. I just don't put, the regular barbecue sauce. And yeah, bacon is that's like my crutch, my savior, and my staple.
I love bacon.
Anytime that you're craving anything, bacon will help, right?
Hmm. Yeah, I've been going around to these beef farms and asking, like, you guys got any beef bacon? They're like, no, but we can get it next time. I'm like, dang it, dude. It's just the cut from the belly of the cow. Like, I want some beef bacon.
Okay.
Not
Yeah,
just,
I've never tried it. I've heard of it, and people have told me you need to just make your own. But man, like I don't really have time to be cutting meat.
well, yeah, no. And if you're, I only suggest it to people if pork bacon kind of upsets your stomach, maybe
Uh,
then try beef bacon. That way you could still get some taste of bacon, but it's, maybe the beef bacon will agree with you a little bit better. It's just the
yeah,
cuts from the belly. So maybe, I don't know if you can ask from your butcher, maybe your butcher can hook it up too. Never know.
yeah.
Now you mentioned eggs. I asked everybody if you could have your eggs done one way the rest of your life, what would it be, Jeff?
Oh man, I like them all. I would probably go over easy,
Over easy.
where
Okay,
they're
okay.
gonna be runny all over the place. That's
Nothing
no,
wrong with that. Nothing wrong
yeah.
with that. How many meals a day are you eating, Jeff?
So I really try to only eat when I'm hungry. So, you know, a lot of days that's 2 meals, but if I'm not hungry when it's time for meal number one, I'll just put it off and maybe I'll only have one meal. And every once in a while, I'll get up in the morning. I'm really, truly hungry. I'll eat breakfast too. So I'll eat 3 meals that day. Um, this week, I just started experimenting. That's one thing, with our channels, and we're always talking about food. That it seems like there's always some new idea to try or experiment.
Chicken. You ever heard of chicken chips?
No.
I know you're not a big fan of the chicken, but yeah, that's a chicken chips is one I learned from Alicia and Joe.
Okay.
And you flatten out the chicken as flat as you can get it, kind of like with one of those things, and then you put it on parchment paper and cook it till it's crisp.
Okay.
And it's like chicken chips, I guess. So
Okay.
yeah,
I'm
I'm learning all sorts of fun stuff, man.
Yeah.
Butter of the Gods, that's another one. There's Adam from Carnivore today was teaching me about Butter of the Gods. It seems so complicated, but like I like the simpler stuff, kind of like we had a carnivore taco bowl. That's
Okay.
just skirt steak with ground beef over it and a little bit of Mexican cheese on top.
Sure.
And ooh,
Yeah.
it's good, Jeff.
Sounds good.
Mm-hmm.
Put a little sour cream in there. I don't know if you do dairy at all, but I'll
We
do.
My wife once in a while will do sour cream, but I don't do any dairy anymore. I cut out
Okay.
milk and everything. What about
Okay.
you?
Yeah, don't do milk. I'll do heavy whipping cream. If I want to do a carnivore ice cream, or yeah, that's about the only thing
Yeah,
I
you can
might
freeze whipping cream and then
do.
it's
What
just
now?
like ice cream.
Pardon?
You can freeze whipping cream and it's just like ice cream.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll do that. I do butter, of course, and I'll do a little bit of sour cream, like not heavy, but like throw a tablespoon in your Mexican taco bowl idea,
Mhm.
and that mixes it up, and it's a little different. It's nice. So
What's something that you've tried on carnivore, like a little recipe, kind of like that, a carnivore recipe that you've enjoyed?
Um, I've tried a bunch of different things. There's a few cooking videos on my channel, and if anyone goes to watch them, just understand I am not trying to be a cooking show. I am having fun and sharing my experience with you, and a lot of times it's kind of comical or disappointing when I cook something.
You guys go subscribe. Carnivore, he's everyday carnivore. Okay, not just like once in a while or every other day. It's every day.
Well,
Man, look at that food though. That's making me hungry right now. See, that's the problem. I
yeah.
get done chatting with carnivores and I'm always hungry after these interviews, Jeff. Every
So
time.
So if you scroll back down there, there is on
Absolutely.
the bottom right, you can see the butter.
The
What are
desserts, holiday
the
treats.
yeah. On that one, I do a recipe that the ketogenic woman did with brown butter bites, and I had never heard of those, and they were a neat thing to experiment with and try. And so if you're trying to stick to carnivore, but you're going through the holidays maybe, and you think, what's something I could do that would seem like a dessert? That's a good option. Um, I did a oopsie cake that I saw on a few different
An
channels, and I
oopsie cake?
tried that out.
What's an oopsie cake?
It's sort of like a messy. It's a messy cake that's not supposed to look fancy, I guess, is kind of the idea with calling it an oopsie cake. At least that's my perception of it. But uh, the I'm trying to remember that one. But I went to the work of following the recipe, doing the whole thing, and it just tasted like air, and it was pretty disappointing. So I've never made that one a second time. Um,
I feel like it's easier to just like Shane says from Sightless Carnivores to just slap something on the grill
yeah.
instead of because I feel like too like some of the recipes did work out. Don't get me wrong, but like
Mhm.
some of them I'm like, man, I don't know. I used to do recipes with the old diet, and then you need like 30 different things for the
Yeah.
recipe. Then you got to get it together. It's like now I'm just so, I guess you could say lazy, but I'm used to
Yeah.
just slapping it on the grill.
Well, we get spoiled, right? I was making a video. I was editing a video just before we got on. It's going to be on my channel in the next day or two, where I'm talking about why we don't eat vegetables. And one of the reasons I think of is, I watch someone make a salad now. They use more ingredients to make one salad than I'll use the whole week.
A whole
You
week.
know,
I know, absolutely. And that's one meal on one sitting.
Right, right. And they have this concept like if I don't have 17 different things in here, it's not a balanced diet. And it's like, man, you're think about all the dishes that you're making, all the different like you're trying to balance all the different um ingredients all into one thing, and then the shopping for that, and it's just so much simpler just to say, yeah, I'm cooking a steak, or I'm cooking bacon and eggs, or whatever it is,
Yeah, there's a law my coach taught me, the law of cause and effect, and that states that every action there's a reaction. So if you're going to put 17 things in your body by law, you're going to have 17 different reactions to those
Mm,
things. And they don't think that. They'll think they'll have one combined reaction. Well, that one combined reaction is probably from 17 different reactions at once. And I feel like on carnivore, I'm just eating beef. I'm having reaction to beef, not beef, this, that.
right,
Just something to think about, because by law, you put 17 things in your body at once, you're going to have 17 different reactions. It's just a law.
right. Well, and it kills me that so many times we've been eating that way for years and years and years. And so we'll think that something doesn't bother us. But I'll give you an example of being completely wrong of that. And that is, tomatoes. Everything I used to eat had some kind of tomato involved in pizza and spaghetti and whatever. Tomatoes are everywhere, salad and everything. And I'm not to the point with my carnivore where like I will sweat it every now and then. I'll have a little bit of vegetables or whatever. And so I had a side salad that was, at dinner one night at the restaurant. My wife's having a side salad, and I reach over and grab one of those little cherry tomatoes and pop it in my mouth. And it was like within minutes, my mouth is stinging
Mm.
from the tomato. And it's like, goodness gracious, I never would have noticed that before, but it's because I'd be eating 40 other things. I wouldn't know what made me feel like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I think our bodies are reacting, like you say, to all these different things, and we just think, oh, no, that doesn't bother me. I just happen to feel terrible.
I also think that too that brain fog that we have on the old diet comes in, and it almost numbs you to all the crap that's going on because you feel like crap all the time, and then you're just like, well, whatever, it's just another day, and you really don't start to think it's your nutrition in your food. But when
Yeah,
you get on carnivore, you realize how much was your nutrition in your food.
yeah,
Feeling
absolutely.
sluggish, feeling brain fog, getting crabby, cravings. Like you don't notice all these things that could be improved just by eating carnivore. It's
Yeah,
you don't know what you don't know until you get on it, try it, and then it literally raises your awareness, and you're like, oh, okay, this is what all these crazy carnivores are talking about. Because
yeah,
I'm sure they hear you and me talking. There at least some people on the fence, and they're or vegan or something. They're like, dude, there's just no way these guys are hype artists. They're just
right.
hyping this. You have to try it to feel it because
Yeah,
you just until you experience it and raise your own awareness. We're gonna sound crazy, but then when you try it yourself, even for 2 weeks, I think Allison was saying try it for 2 weeks.
hmm
I think that's a great idea because you probably won't stop after the 2 weeks. I tried it for 30 days. What did you like? Were
I,
you just did you just get on it or did you say
I,
I'm gonna try this for a week or 30
I
days?
committed to I was going to do 30 days,
That's what I did.
and I would really encourage people to try it at least for 30 days because I hear so many people that 2 or 3 weeks in, they still are dealing with keto flu or things like that. And they
Bubble
haven't,
guts.
maybe they've lost a few pounds, but they feel like garbage.
Yeah.
You got to get over that hump to where you feel really good. And then you realize, okay, I'm in the groove now.
Mhm.
So I think I'm not 100% sure, but I think it was Aaron Kilby from the Kilby Life that the day before I started carnivore, I had watched Dr. Sean Baker, I'd watched Dr. Barry, and had read up about it a little bit and stuff like that. And I think it was Aaron Kilby was on a video, and he was saying, like, if you've tried everything else, give it a month. Just do a month. Like, if you can't do this for a month, you don't really want to change as bad as you
Absolutely.
think
You
you do.
ain't at rock
Give it a
bottom
month
then.
and you'll be shocked what happens with your life. And of course, like 3 weeks in, I'm like, that's it. That's what I'm doing the rest of my life. Like,
Ribeyes, let's go.
yeah.
Yeah, I never ate so many ribeyes in my life till I got on carnivore. Now let's
I,
get a couple comments here because it was weird at first. Like the comments weren't popping up. Nothing
yeah,
was popping up on my StreamYard.
I agree. Hey, everybody. Glad you joined us. Uh, we weren't seeing your comments for a few minutes there, and you guys just all of a sudden, boom, we see you.
I thought I was gonna have to do it on my phone here. I pulled up the stream and I was like, dude, I'm gonna have to read the comments on my phone. But luckily it's working. So let me get my cell phone out of the way. It just randomly popped up, so I'm glad because I was like, well, how come it's never done that before? And I was like, why would you do that to Jeff? Come on,
Yeah.
universe. Why would you do that to Jeff?
Yeah, I don't know.
All right, let's just get a couple here. Rick looks like he's the next one on the carnivore lineup. Yep. And you guys, he's been doing carnivore longer than I have, so
Uh-huh.
I'm glad to have him on here. I'm glad you're giving me a chance. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Let me on here.
absolutely.
Susie Underwood. Hi, Rick. How's it going? Yeah, Rick's the dude, man. So is Jeff. Hi, JT. Hi, Jeff. Susie, thank
Hi,
you.
Susie.
Allison, I was just mentioning you, girl. Don says hello. Let's see here. Lee Walker says, do you know anybody who's had a heart issue? I don't know, heart issue, low in fraction rate, not pumping properly for AFib that the carnivore diet has helped. I'm trying this on the second month. Anybody in this group? I personally don't have any knowledge of that. What about you, Jeff?
Um, I saw a video very recently where I almost feel like it was one of your recent interviews where somebody was talking about they had AFib, where their heart would like start racing. And
I think
uh,
that was Brian from Wick Goes Carnivore. He had a fast heartbeat.
yeah, it sounds similar, or at least in the same direction. And it sounded like going carnivore really helped them, which may have been the weight loss, right? It's one of those things. A lot of
Or
times
combination, right?
we'll attribute, a good positive benefit to carnivore, and people will say, "Well, you could have done that if you lost 50 pounds or 100 pounds anyway." Well, yeah, we just it
Trying
all
to
goes,
figure out how to lose the weight. That's what we're right.
yeah,
We know
yeah,
losing the weight will do us good, but like, how do we lose the weight? That's the question. Yeah, so maybe
yeah,
check out my interview with Brian Wick Goes Carnivore Lee and see if
yeah.
that helps you out. Karen, hi Tiger Gang. What's up, my Tiger Gang? Man, I'm telling you, the Tiger Gang, man, we're carnivores, man. We're riding our tigers. We love it,
Huh?
man. We're going after those big goals in life, stuff that makes you nervous. Primal Mike, how you doing? Mike stayed up the entire 24 hours in the comments section with us during the fundraiser.
Did he really?
He's a champion, dude. I'll
Man,
always
that's
remember that.
strong. I remember logging in multiple different times, and yeah, they're still kicking.
Yeah, oh man, I swear that bacon suit was gonna get stuck to me, man. I was in that thing for so long. I was just like so glad to get it off when it was over. And then Carrie was like, "Okay, the 24 hours is up." I was like, "Sweet." And he's like, "Oh, we got 2.5 hours of testimonies." I was like, "That's like an Avengers movie." Like you stay up 24 hours and then they're like, "Can we watch Avengers now?" It's like, yeah. But it was awesome though. It was the testimonials, so it was actually very easy. And it was weird, man. By the time the testimonials came on, like I had a second wind and I was just fine.
Really?
Yeah. Jeff, how old are you if you're willing to say?
Yeah, sure. I am
Because you look pretty
47.
young.
Pardon me?
You look pretty young, so it shouldn't be a high number.
I'm 47. I sport the white beard to represent my age, right? If I shave, I look a lot younger. And I will say it kind of cracked me up. I did my 1 year video not too long ago, and at the end of that video, I point to my 6 month video if people didn't see that one, because I talk about some different aspects in there that I want people to know about. And I was shocked. The next week or two, I probably had like 5 or 6 different people in the comments say, "You look younger in your 1 year video than you did at 6 months." And
Is because the shaving?
uh no, I think I had the white beard in the 1 year video. So
Oh,
that kind of blew me away. But I think it's maybe this my skin. I don't know.
you got the carnivore glow, man.
I I don't see it, but if they say it, if only one person said it, I would think, oh, whatever. That's nice. That's sweet of you to say. But like after you read it 5, 6, 7 times, you're like, really? Do I really look that much younger? I don't know.
It's hard for us to see ourselves, man. It really is, man. It takes somebody else, I really feel like, in someone else's perspective to see us, and the changes.
Yeah.
Kimberly, I've done the cabbage soup diet. Dang,
Yeah.
girl, I never heard of that one.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's the one that I was talking about with the tomato. Yeah. That's
I think we should just start a bacon diet. Let's see if we can just do just bacon. Allison, I've had beef bacon. It's good. Yeah, yeah. There you go, Allison. Where'd you get it,
yeah.
Allison? Let
Where
us
did you
know.
get it? That's what I want to ask.
Yeah, yeah. That's the next tip.
I
Allison, if you could put it in there.
well, you mentioned talking to the meat cutter or the butcher. I forget sometimes that at Publix, the meat market, the people in the meat department will cut whatever you want to buy.
Hmm.
So I probably need to talk to them and say, hey, what do I got to do to get some beef bacon? Like,
That's
cut me
yeah.
some
I
up.
I should have. I just called my butcher yesterday because I was asking about a big slab of boneless prime rib that I could buy and take home and just cut my own thickness, and
Yeah,
save some money. And he's like, "Oh yeah, of course I can do that." But now that I'm you mentioned it. I forgot to ask about the beef bacon, so I'm gonna call him back and ask him, because then I'm like, dude, you can be my new best friend if you can
Yeah,
hook me up
you'll
with the
be
boneless
you'll
ribeye and
be
some
his
beef
best
bacon.
customer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think they would actually prefer that, like Alex was saying from Carnivore Every Day, Carnivore for Life. I mean, he was saying how they prefer to have you buy the big slab rather than cut a bunch up themselves, and then no one comes in and buys it, then they're
Sure.
wasting it all. So they said if
Yeah.
people came in and bought the big slabs of boneless prime rib, they said that would actually be great because it gets the meat out there without going to waste.
Sure. Yeah.
Let's see, Susie, another vote here for over easy eggs.
Yeah.
Where my scrambled eggs folks at, man? Where's the scramblers at?
Everybody does scrambled.
I know it is pretty basic, Jeff. I'm a basic dude though, except for my hats. My hat
That's
game
where
is
you
not
get
basic,
unique.
that's for sure. I can admit that. No insanity. Renee, how you doing? Missed
Hey,
you.
hey.
They said, "What's quacking, Rick?" Rick, man, you got everybody on the ducks, man. Rick loves ducks. Susie, when I used to wash and chop up fresh tomatoes, my skin would itch. I should have taken that as a hint. Ooh.
Mm,
It's hindsight's always 2020, isn't it? You look back and you're like, "Oh, that did happen. I should have
yeah.
known." It's tough to know while you're doing these things, but hindsight's
You,
always 2020.
it's hard to watch in the people around us too. I'll see people get sick or have a reaction, and it's hard to say, that's from something you ate, and maybe you even know what it is. And it's just hard to share that with them without them feeling like, oh, he's gonna tell me I have to be carnivore.
Oh, so you're a judgmental dick now, huh?
Right.
It's like, no, I'm not judging you. I'm just,
It's like,
just
just
trying
don't
to
eat
help,
that
man.
one thing. Like try not eating it,
It
but
is tough, man. When you're just trying to tell people what's helped for you, it comes off as like a Mr. Know-it-all thing. And it's like, no,
right.
I'm not claiming no one knows everything. And I'm
Yeah.
not claiming I am. But all I can just speak to is just that the carnivore diet has helped me, and it's helped me with sleep apnea and my back pain and my IBS. Like,
Yeah.
other than that, I can't really say much, but it's like I'm not giving medical advice either, you guys. This is just tips, this is just telling you what's helped
Yep.
for me, and Jeff's just telling you what's helped for you. Now, I got
Yep.
a quick question. Someone brought up YouTube here. Do you think they're going to try to silence us carnivores, my guy?
Well, I made a video about that,
I know, I was
reacting.
watching. That's why I'm
Yeah.
bringing it up.
Um, so I think it's a tough line for them to draw because, like, here, you and I are just sharing our story. We're not
Mhm.
doctors, and we're not claiming to be doctors. Um, so, would they suppress this? I kind of lean towards probably not. But then
You
again,
think Dr.
people,
Barry and Chafee and them might be in
well,
different water?
they may have a harder time getting their message out than they otherwise would, is what I'm concerned. I think you'll still be able to subscribe to them and follow all their content through the
Now, what if you think
subscription
you had
feed.
them on your channel? Do you think they would try to punish you then for saying, well, then if they're going to try to block you, come on my channel?
Well, I think YouTube does individual videos, so I don't think that they'll just like shadow ban or suppress whole channels. I really think it's going to go by video, but we really don't know until we see what they do. If you have these kind of live streams where people are asking questions, would one question, sounding medical enough be a reason for them to suppress the whole video? I don't know.
I will say that out of all I forgot to mention last night, Allison was my 50th episode of Chatting with Carnivores. You're number 51, Jeff.
Okay.
But out of all of these episodes, I got a message from YouTube about my interview with Carrie from Homestead How. And they said that there was something we mentioned in there that wasn't advertiser friendly. And I've watched that back like 20 times now, and I don't know what the heck they're talking about or what we even mentioned, because it's not like we were talking about anything bad. I mean,
Right.
he's another interview on Chatting with Carnivores, but I just think it's weird, man, because I get flagged for nothing except for Carrie, the interview I did with my buddy Carrie.
That's
They flagged that and sent me a message, and it was real cryptic too. They won't even it's like these very general warnings, and I'm like, well, what did I do?
right.
Put the
Give me a
captions or
timestamp
something
or
in there to
something.
let me know what I said so I
Yeah,
don't say it again. But they're
right.
very cryptic, man. It's like they want you to step up over yourself again, and they go, up, you said it again. What did I say? What
Right.
did I say?
Well,
So
it makes you wonder too with the auto captions and stuff like that. Like YouTube is listening through like the algorithm through AI, so
they're
did it
listening.
so so does it misinterpret something we say sometimes?
Yeah, and then it says you said this.
You
Like,
know,
no, I didn't. I do
well,
notice sometimes I watch my videos back just to see what the captions say. They do
yeah,
get a couple words here and there wrong. It's not a perfect system.
sure.
But
But
I just wanted to be transparent. Out of all of the interviews I've done with chatting with carnivores, none of them have gotten flagged except for the one I did with Carrie. Carrie, we're gonna have to have a talk about it.
he's got to keep it PG.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I watched it back. He didn't say anything wild. And they were very cryptic. They wouldn't tell me what was
Hmm,
said in the interview that they didn't like.
yeah.
But I just wanted to mention that. So I haven't experienced anything other than Carrie getting me in some trouble. No, and I didn't even get in trouble. It's just fun to say Carrie did get me in trouble. Renee says I have COPD. Oh, you guys, please put cues in front of your questions and send some questions for Jeff while he's here. I
Yeah.
got him live in the flesh, you guys. I wrangled him down. It was tough, but I got him. Renee says I have COPD and congestive heart failure. I'm sorry to hear that, Renee. Carnivore has brought my OX levels. Did I say that right?
O- oxygen levels.
Oxygen
Yeah.
levels from 85-ish to
Yeah.
95-ish. I don't know what's a good number. So if you think 95-ish is good, I'm
Yeah.
gonna go with you, Renee.
That's yeah, that's getting better. That's for sure. Good.
Yeah, that's awesome. I like to see the success stories. Allison says smash the like button. Yeah, because that helps us fight the algorithm. Because YouTube, they're gonna try to give us the old
Wait,
carnivore censor.
AP, they're listening. We're not fighting the
Oh,
algorithm.
oh,
We're
oh, oh.
we're we're encouraging the algorithm,
Okay.
right?
Sorry, algorithm. I love you, algorithm. You're so good to me. Algorithm, you push all my videos out to thousands of people. I love you, algorithm. I tell you, the future is gonna be crazy with the robots. I hope
Yeah.
they're not listening now, too. They're the
You gotta
robots
be
running everything.
you gotta be
No.
polite to those robots. You
I
never know
it's
when they're
it's
gonna be
a
in charge.
yeah, get a cyborg after me, man, next. Let's see.
Yeah.
Croker sells a brand called Divanco. Are you talking about beef bacon, girl? I hope you are.
That that's probably what she's talking about. Interesting.
Allison, yeah, let me know if that's I'm pretty sure I'm gonna take a picture of that right now. Because anytime I get comments like that, I don't have time to go back through all the comments, but I do got time to go through my photos. I'll check that out. Oh, here we go. Walmart has beef bacon in the cooler section here. What? All right, I might have to
Gonna
take back some of the things I said about Walmart.
gonna have to look now.
Yeah. Okay, you guys, if anybody's looking for beef bacon, check Kroger and Walmart. You guys, that's
Yeah.
the hottest tips I've had yet. Because lately we've been talking about beef bacon. I haven't had any place to send anybody.
Yeah.
Bubba says hello.
Hey, Bubba.
How you doing, Bubba? Yeah, yep, 51 now, thanks to Jeff. And honestly, I wouldn't have anything to talk about if you guys didn't come on here and share your stories. So I appreciate every single one of you that shares your stories and every single one of you that tunes in and watches. If you're too nervous to share your story and you just watch other people do it, that's fine. That's
Yeah.
fine. Just as long as you guys are staying motivated and you guys are just being beacons of light, man. I was telling Jeff, I never heard of the carnivore diet through Dr. Baker and Dr. Barry and stuff. I only heard about those guys through Carrie. So that's why I've made it a mission to share my story. Now,
Yeah.
Jeff's more popular in the carnivore scene than I am, but
Well,
there's still people who are going to see this and they didn't hear Jeff's story, because the people who
that's right.
listen to me sometimes don't listen to Jeff and vice versa.
Yep.
And there's gonna be someone who still hears Jeff's story, and that's why
Mhm.
I feel like even if he's already shared it on his channel, there's so much value in sharing it again on every channel you're invited on, Jeff, because it might
Yeah.
feel redundant to you, But for someone else, they're hearing your story for the first time and they're like, wow, that sounds like me. And
Right.
they feel a little bit like the world is a little bit smaller and less
Right.
alone then when you can relate to someone.
Yeah, my favorite kind of videos are interviewing other people and getting them to tell their story. And I really just believe we need to hear it over and over again from people that are like us, and we're all different. So I love having people who have a different journey come on my channel, and I'll ask them all the questions I can think of to kind of pull that story out of them, so that hopefully people that are, find my channel will identify with that particular person and, be changed.
Absolutely. And it's about saving that one life, man. If you can save it, man, somebody's going to hear it and be like, wow, I'm no longer feeling like crap. And you guys sharing that story really helped me. So you guys, please, everyday carnivore, man. It's not every other day. Okay. It's not sometimes carnivore or a little carnivore. It says every day. Okay. Not, or it doesn't even say holiday carnivore. He's an everyday carnivore, you guys. He really is.
Oh, that's funny. The way I think about it is I'm just an everyday guy, and so it's funny for me to hear you say it that way, like every day. This is what we're doing every day. I like it.
Yeah, repetition's the first law of learning. And what better way to be repetitious than do it every day? So, and I'm telling you, man, you either got to shave again or you got to put the beard photo up because they ain't
Yeah,
gonna recognize you, man.
I
There's two different guys, one with the
yeah,
beard and one without.
I probably need a new headshot, right?
Now, Jeff,
Well,
are you at your goal weight or are
I
you near it?
I
What's
am
going on?
not. I've been really close to my goal weight, and I've kind of relaxed a little bit. And so I really feel great at about 205 pounds. I'm a 6'3" guy. So,
Wow, I'm 5
uh,
foot short. I'm 5'7".
okay. Well, let me sit up a little bit here. So, at about 205 pounds, I feel great. And right now I'm at about 215. And that's just from being a little bit lax, having a little bit of stuff that's more in the keto realm than carnivore realm on some days, and just not making the best choices. And so, once you get down close to where you feel great, um, to be doing this for the rest of my life, I feel like, if I have some green beans or some broccoli with my food, it's not going to be, something that really sabotages me. But
Right, not unless you do the broccoli
I,
diet.
yeah, I don't do a full broccoli meal or anything like that. Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
no, especially if you're getting close to your goal weight or you're at your goal weight, I don't think there's anything wrong with having a treat once in a while. And I seen a guy talk about it, and I think it was a great suggestion. If you do fall off the wagon or you do have a treat, just fast the next day and let your body clear of any sugars that you might have put in there, and then
yeah,
you're right back on track. So
yeah.
it's not the end of the world.
Well, I would say with that too, guys, it's very easy to be down on yourself and then feel like you have to punish yourself by doing something like a fast. Do a fast because it's going to get you back on track, not because you're punishing yourself.
Exactly. Yep.
If you're feeling guilty, go eat some bacon right now.
Yeah.
Like, get over it. It happened. We can move on.
Hmm.
And, you know, but I agree. Sometimes when I go off plan, make a bad choice, a lot of times I'll choose to fast after that, try and get, out of those side effects as fast as possible.
Yeah, it's the mindset. If you're looking at it as like a punishment for yourself, then I wouldn't punish yourself. Carnivore is not restrictive. You can eat till you feel full.
Yeah.
But if you do fall off the wagon or you have, one day where you want to eat some junk, I only suggested fasting because it's just the quickest way to get all the sugars
Right.
out of your
Right.
body. But
Yeah.
you guys do what's best for you. If you don't feel good and you're fasting, eat something, man. I'm not here
I,
to lead you guys down. I'm just trying to give you something tip that helps me.
JT, back when we were talking about how often I eat, I started to tell you I started experimenting this week with I decided I wanted to see if there was a difference if I fasted without drinking water uh, during the day. And so, if you've ever heard of dry fasting, it's basically you don't put anything in your mouth.
What's the difference between a water fast and a dry fast?
Yeah, you just don't put any water in your mouth. You don't.
But then what's a water fast? Where you're just drinking water
Right,
and not
right,
eating anything? Okay,
right.
okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I would
So,
suggest not. I don't know. Have you done a dry fast?
So I just started experimenting it with it this week, and I thought, here's what I'm going to do. When I get up in the morning, I am just going to try not to eat or drink anything at all until I can't stand it, and I just want to see how long that takes. And keep in mind, I work indoors. I have air conditioning everywhere I go. Uh, so I've found that usually about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, it'll hit me that I'm hungry and thirsty. And you know what? I'm going to eat really soon anyway. So is it a big deal if I eat at 4 instead of like 6 or something like that? And I've been surprised. It makes me feel really good.
Mm.
And it's just sort of a game I'm experimenting with. I haven't made a video about
You're not
it
getting
or
lightheaded or nothing?
no. When I was working, I had gone for a good long walk in the sun in Alabama. So it was nice and hot, got a good sweat on. And I came back to the office and I thought, I need to drink water. And then I realized, let's see if I can go without it. Right. And about 2 o'clock, I had a Zoom call that I had to get on a video conference with a bunch of people, and I was going to be doing a good bit of talking. And I was like, "That's it. I got to get a drink of water before I get on this
Your
call."
lips start sticking together after a while.
Yeah, but otherwise, it's been a good experiment. So folks might try experimenting something like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, if you feel like you're in good health to try it, then definitely try it out. Bubba wants to know: has Carnivore filled in Jeff's beard more? You
That's
do have a thick ass beard, man. Because mine,
that,
I've got. You guys know who Keanu Reeves is? He's got very patchy beard. His does not fill in either, and I can tell you guys that. I know you didn't ask me that question, but my beard has not filled in on Carnivore. What about you, Jeff?
I would say it definitely is very full. Um, I actually
Now you're just
trim
bragging.
I actually trim up here and underneath, but um, I don't know how to compare from before till now. But yeah, good question, Bubba.
Yeah, I could tell you though it has not. I am still so like my beard is so sporadic. I've got the Keanu Reeves going on, you
Mhm.
guys. So I wish I could say Carnivore has made everything 100% perfect, but my beard has not gotten there yet. Yes, Divanko is the beef bacon.
Yeah, that's very cool. I'm gonna have to look for that.
Yeah. Karen says I want to try the beef bacon. Yeah, guys, if pork bothers you guys and you still want that kind of that taste for bacon, go to your butcher, ask them for some beef bacon. I'm sure they'd be more than willing to hook you guys up. Here's a fun one I like to ask people, Jeff. Would you take $1 million to go back to your old way of eating? It's a lot of cash, and I've been trying to give it away.
Wow, $1 million. How long do I have to eat that way?
Forever.
Oh, geez.
There's no looking back, man. You're
That's like a
making
death sentence.
That's what I'm trying to get people to
I mean,
realize,
I'm
right?
thinking for a month, sure. For a year, that would be
Forever.
for a year would be really, really hard. Forever, I don't think I could do it. A
Yeah, I don't
million
think
is a lot,
you could
but
make 1 million when you've got your health.
yeah, yeah.
You know,
Well, and you think about the years of your life you give up, you know. Uh,
not
I'm
worth it.
looking I'm looking forward to living longer now. Back before I did this, I was like everybody else and thought, I don't know if I want to live long enough to be 80 years old.
Well, if you don't feel good,
You'll be in the nursing home, not even know who you are, not be able to do anything. Now I'm thinking I'm going to be, in great health until I drop dead or something, some kind of accident or something. and looking forward to it. So, is that worth $1 million? It is to me.
Yeah, yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, I'm starting to call this the Moses diet, man. I hope I live to like 140 or something. I just so I'm here so long, everything resets and we're back to using stone tablets, man. I want to stick around for as long as I can, man.
Everything resets. Are you talking about like Armageddon and we
Yeah,
lose?
everything just we're back to the beginning, man. Everything is we just destroyed ourselves. We went cyborg. Cyborgs are gone. And there's just us carnivores left eating steaks and cows. Carnivores and cows. That would be the last things probably left. Uh, I want to know what are some good tips you would give to someone who's thinking about starting a carnivore diet,
Okay,
a newbie?
good question. Okay. If you are about to start or you've just started recently, the number one thing that I would wish I could do is go back and take pictures and measurements of the before, what you were before you got going, because I don't have enough of those. And I really wish I had taken measurements. I really wish I had taken pictures. And, every once in a while I'll see one that my family, I ask my kids and my wife for, do you have any pictures where I'm obviously a lot bigger than I am now? And they're like, no, don't have any. But then every once in a while, one will come up. Right. And my daughter shared one with me where she was a little girl. She's like 20 now. And we're strapping on helmets to go go-kart racing, and my face is like so round. It's like the helmet is squishing it down. I'm like, that's the kind of picture I wanted to when I asked you for them. So yeah,
Put
take
it in the
those
upcoming
pictures.
video.
Do what now?
You put it in the upcoming video. You could be like, see, you guys, look at this. You can still do it.
I'll have to do that. So, take those measurements and take those pictures. It's uncomfortable when you're not happy with what you are right now or where you're at right now. But I mean, look at that person in the mirror and say goodbye, because if you do carnivore and you stick to it, that person's not going to be around much longer.
Mm-hmm.
And you want to be able to tell people, like, look at where I was. And it's harder to do that when you were hiding from the camera all the time.
I think a lot of people are in that stage where they're just like, I don't feel hot, man. I don't feel
Yeah,
hot. I don't feel sexy. I don't want the camera on me.
right.
And that's understandable, you
Yeah.
guys. Just and that's some great tips. Now, one more tips. Could you give any tips to someone who's yo-yo dieting?
Well, I would just,
What would help them?
yeah, I would just advocate, if you're doing what I did when I was trying all those different things, I would highly encourage you to first try keto or carnivore, because it changes the game when you feel satisfied. Every other kind of diet that I ever did, I felt deprived. When I went keto for the first time, it takes a few weeks, but it totally changes the game when you stop feeling hunger. Well, what we consider hunger is really sugar cravings. It's sugar headaches. It's your body trying to convince you to get another hit of dopamine, of that sugar. And when those signals stop, when your body stops trying to do that, and you actually experience what it's like to live without the hunger cravings, totally changes the the question of, am I going on a diet? Am I trying something for a while? Or am I changing the way I'm going to eat long term? And that definitely is through the healthy fats that we're training our body to run on fat instead of on sugar and carbohydrates. That totally flips a switch in your brain. It just takes a few weeks to get into it.
So try keto or carnivore for a few weeks, and then maybe you can get off the yo-yo dieting,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, because I've been hearing from a lot of people talk about they used to do yo-yo dieting, be, doing that, this and that. And I just want to see if they've got any good tips for anybody who's currently doing that.
Yeah.
Carnivore Sue says hello from Virginia. Hey, how you doing, Sue?
Hey, Sue.
Now, we're getting near our time here. Let me pull up your channel again. And while I do this, Jeff, do you got something on your heart you want to speak to the people about? Something?
Well, I just want to encourage people to continue, making the good choices, pushing yourself to do the thing that you've committed to, whether that's low carb, whether that's whole food, whether that's keto or carnivore or lion, wherever you are on that spectrum, to continue to push to get better and better at following that way, and share it with a friend. And like JT and I are just sharing our experience, our story. You can share that story with a friend without preaching at them or without beating them up. I've been, ever since I started going carnivore, I don't sit at my desk and eat lunch anymore. So instead, I drive to a park that's just down the road and I walk a few laps out in the sunshine. And one of the things that's happened is I've gotten to know a few people that also go to the park every day. And
Making friends, huh?
just today I was walking with this guy that I've gotten to know over the past few weeks, and super healthy guy, walks like 7 miles a day at the same park. So it's very easy for me to run into him because he's there for a while. 7 miles is a lot of laps. And today was the first time I've ever talked to him about, the carnivore diet or what he eats. He's very focused on his health and looks great for a guy who's 10 years older than me. And he started telling me all these foods that he's so excited that he eats. And it sounds like a very plant-based, almost vegan, diet. And, so without, beating him up or arguing with anything he said, even though he said some things that I would not agree with at all, I just shared with him, my experience. And he was kind of shocked and very open to hearing about it. And I didn't have to say, you know what? One of the things he said that just blew my mind was he said every single day he'll have 4 bananas at once at some point during the day. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, are you kidding me? That's so much sugar in there. And just like, talk about throwing your body for a loop. But he said it makes him feel great. And then he's talking about all the different fruits and vegetables he ate and that kind of thing. All I did was go, wow, that's working for you. Well, let me tell you what's working for me, and I think we can really change how people perceive eating meat and really help other people out. He might not be open to it today, but maybe someday he will.
Absolutely. Yeah. Maybe he starts having some issues in the future and he says, man, that one dude did say something about the carnivore diet. And that's why it's great to have an open ear, because you had your ear open for him, even though you didn't agree with it.
Yeah.
He had an open ear back, and maybe he didn't agree with it. But, my coach would say, change the way you look at things, and the things you look at, they suddenly change. So
Yeah.
you never know. You give him some time and he might change the way he looks at things, because somebody like Jeff was nice enough to not harp on him and just provide an open ear, and then he's like, wow, that guy wasn't a jerk. He wasn't pushy.
Yeah. Well, and what I try to lead with is the effect, right? Before I say I eat only meat, and like I did tell him kind of jokingly, so afterwards, I told them kind of jokingly, like, pretty much everything you said, there's no way I would eat any of those things,
You're
and
being honest. That's okay.
he thought that was funny. But I started off by saying, I got rid of my heartburn and I started sleeping better. I don't have to wear a CPAP. And, I'm listing these things. And he's like, wow, like, holy smokes, that's a lot. How did you do that? Oh, I eat only meat. Now he's like interested and baffled. But if you start with you should only eat meat, then it's not going to come across very well.
Yeah, I was just shopping for my gramps today, and I had all meat and stuff, and the grocery bag boy was asking about it, and I was like, "Yeah, dude, I'm on the carnivore diet. I'm down a bunch of weight." His eyebrows almost jumped off of his head. You guys should have seen it. Like I've never seen eyebrows go up this high, and he was like, "Really?" Yeah, my guy. Like, and he was like, "I might have to try that." I was like, "Yeah, give it a try, man." And I said,
Yeah,
"Ribeyes, they're on sale, man. Not for cheap, but they were like $25. They're on sale for like 20. Like the ribeyes are through the roof right now." I was like, "That's
man.
a sale, $20."
Yeah, that makes it tough.
Yeah, but
So
yeah,
so I saw your grandpa is 93 and he's
93.
carnivore?
Yep.
Man, that's awesome.
Yeah, I just he messaged me today and he's like, "Dude, what's that salt called?" And I was like, "Oh, it's Redmond's real salt." And he's like, "Where do I get it?" I said, "Don't worry about it. I'll pick you up some because there's a store right down the road from me. If you guys are wondering if you have any
Okay.
stores called the Outpost."
Ah.
And I'm telling you, I felt so awkward in there, man. Like 90% of everything in there was vegetarian and vegan.
Oh,
So,
wow.
like, my skin was crawling as I walked down every aisle. I was like, "Where am I?" But my wife said that they carry the Redmond's real salt. I don't know why, if they're
That
putting it on lettuce or what they're doing, why it's in that store.
I I've never, seen it in person at any location. I've only ordered it online,
Okay.
so that's
Yeah, if you
cool
have
to
an
know that.
Outpost, Google if there's an Outpost store near you, or
Yeah,
like Trader Joe's or something. That's another one they'll probably carry it. But
okay.
yeah, there was like
You
30
felt
tons of vegetables and vegetable oils, and the
you
meat
felt like you were
section.
in
I kid you
enemy
not, the meat
territory?
section had 6 pounds of ground beef, and that was it. I was like, "Holy moly, you guys! Yeah, this is not a carnivore hangout." But I wasn't, I didn't, I stand in to check out with my Redmond's real salt, and everybody there had vegetables and stuff, and it's not a bother to me. Everybody can do whatever they want, but that was a sure experience. I was like, man, I almost feel more comfortable on Amazon,
Yeah,
the digital Amazon, my phone, than going in there, because I was like, not that I was tempted, but it's just like, as a carnivore, I've been recently, Jeff. I've been going to the farms, beef farms in
oh, okay.
Wisconsin here,
Yeah,
and it's so nice. They let me into the freezers and everything, and it's like there's cow heart, there's ribeye, there's just everything,
just like
cow tongue, beef heart,
everything
man.
you could want all in one place.
Yeah, they've
Yeah.
got my eggs, they've got my beef tallow for cooking. And I feel like it's a one-stop shop for carnivore. I don't need any Ruffles or Doritos.
Right.
I'm not like, where's the Moose Tracks ice cream? Like, none of that. It's like, for me, it's a one-stop shop. So I felt kind of awkward being in a store like that that's got all these other things now. I'm kind of getting
Yeah,
used to just being at the farm. And half these farms, like, they roll out the red carpet, man. Like, I'm driving, this dude let me hop in the back of his truck and he drove me over to look at the cows. I'm like, man, what Walmart can you go to and you're going to get
right.
this level of hospitality?
Sure. That's awesome. I Back when I started carnivore, I started looking for some regenerative farms in the state of Alabama, and there are a few, but they're not really anywhere close to me. There was
Mm.
only one that was like maybe 30 or 45 minutes away, and I got all excited. And then I figured out that they had closed down during COVID and they
Oh
hadn't
no.
reopened. But that's been a while, so I'm hopeful. I'm glad you kind of brought it up. I need to do a new Google search and kind of find,
What I
are
did
there
is I
some
I
close?
Google grass-fed beef near me. That,
Okay,
and I
yeah,
suggest, because they even asked, they're like, "How did you find us?" I said, "Man, it's really easy, and I've been telling everybody how to do it. Google
grass-fed
grass-fed beef
beef near
near
me.
me,
Yeah,
and it's gonna bring up like butcher shops. Obviously, it'll list like your local grocery store, but it'll
sure.
also should bring up any farms if they're near you. And I'm actually very blessed. I'm in Wisconsin, so
Yeah.
like, it's the land of cows and farms. And so I had at least 12 different farms pop up,
Oh,
and
that's
like four
awesome.
butchers. I mean, there's just so much content. And I've been calling all of them, and they're like, "Yeah, I'd love to have you over." I'm trying to film as many farms as I can before winter comes. And
Cool.
I can only do it on the weekend, so it's like I'm running out of time. But yeah, if you guys are, and they would love to have you. You can It's like, for carnivores, it's a one-stop shop. You get your meat, You get all the ground beef, the eggs, you get
Right.
everything. And some of
Yeah.
them, even if you're still into dairy, they might have the raw milk and stuff, like really cool stuff you couldn't get at Walmart and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
I even got whipped beef tallow that was turned into moisturizer. I picked some up because she says it goes quick when it starts getting cold. Everybody, they start,
Really?
yeah, it's whipped beef tallow. And she had non-scented and she had lavender scented. And I was saying yesterday, I got the lavender because my grandmother, she passed away in 2015. That was my grandfather's wife, who's 93 now. But
Okay.
my grandmother, she passed away in 2015, and her favorite lotion smells was lavender. Every
Okay.
time I went, she always smelled like lavender, and she had the softest hands in the world. So now I still get, anytime I get lotion, it's got to be lavender, and I feel real close to my grandma when I can smell
Very
lavender. So
cool.
yeah.
Huh.
But yeah, you guys, I would suggest typing in grass-fed beef near me and just taking at least one weekend out of your time to not go to Walmart or the local grocery store and meet one of your farmers, because I
Mm.
guarantee they would be ecstatic. I haven't now the carnivores or the farmers I've interviewed, they haven't been carnivores. They tell me that they eat mostly protein,
Sure.
but they obviously being farmers, they do make their own vegetables, so they'll have that once in a while. And not one of them has been out of shape, so I'm like, hey, if it's working for you, you guys all look great, I can't get on you. But they love it, man, because they're like, yeah, bring on the carnivores, like, because
Yeah.
we're we're like the farm's number one customer. So as crazy as I
Absolutely.
seem with my cow print bucket hat and I just keep going on and on about meat, they don't mind me. So you guys, like, you would be surprised. I guarantee your farmers would love to hear about your carnivore story, even if they're not carnivores. And I've
Yeah.
actually found one of them, the farmer, she messaged me. She's like, hey, I've got a friend interested in carnivore who's having some issues. Could you send me your YouTube channel? I'm like, absolutely.
Very
So
cool.
you never know who you can help out, even if
Yeah.
they don't get into it. I think people feed off enthusiasm, because
Hmm.
my coach taught me enthusiasm is like, it gives off the same effect if you were looking into the face of God. It's like, it's a great effect. And when you show enthusiasm, I think it really resonates with people. Like, they're like, wow, like, I maybe won't do this, but this guy was so enthusiastic about it and said it helped
Right.
this, and that. And then when they hear a family member, they're like, hey, this crazy dude came to the farm. He was talking about carnivore. Maybe try carnivore. So you guys, being crazy is good, man. Because you never know who you could help. Because you never know. Someone might say, hey, that crazy guy had some good tips, so maybe check him out.
You might get banned by the YouTube algorithm, but he was enthusiastic, so
Hey,
let's give it a try.
that's all that matters. I don't know if, hopefully the algorithm loves you, me, Jeff. I'm hoping so. I'm gonna send it a love card after this. But hopefully we're all good. Is there anything we could you wanted to share else before we take off? Do you want to plug your YouTube channel?
Well, just everybody come and visit on my channel. Come and share your thoughts and our comments, and join our community there. If you enjoy, you know, hearing my story and the different people that I interview and the different questions that I tackle, I'd love to have you there. One of the things I've done, in response to what's happening recently with YouTube and the question mark there, is to try and expand. Today, we're actually live streaming on X as well on my channel there. So you're welcome to come and find me there if you
Are you
use
on
that
Rumble?
platform. Pardon me?
Are you on Rumble?
I am not, but that's next on my list.
That when you
Um,
post to YouTube, those videos can go automatically to Rumble. So I suggest people start to check out Rumble, because I will be on there soon. I just haven't had a dang minute.
yeah, yeah, I feel you on that one. So, yeah, I try to post a little bit on Instagram. I'm not the best Instagram guy, and I do have a TikTok, but I'm not that big into TikTok either. I just try to be a little bit of everywhere. So, hopefully, if you enjoy one of those, you're welcome to come and find me on those as well.
Absolutely. You guys, you heard it. Once in a while, he does do it for the gram. As the kids say, do it for the gram. Rick says, at least you have more success helping people than I ever did. Rick, you are a big you're a big, don't put yourself
you
down, Rick. You're a big voice in this scene. And
you you have
Jeff
helped
might
more.
be more popular than both of us, but that's all right. Jeff's
Rick,
Good guy too.
Rick, you had your story out there before I ever did, and it really weighs a lot when somebody can say, I've been doing this way of life for decades. Um, and that's, testimony that gives people the knowledge that this isn't just a fad or something that's going to blow up on people. So the more that we hear that from different people who've been doing it for so long, that's super huge. So thank you for that.
I try to reference Rick as much as I can. And just to go back to those tips for people who are looking to start carnivore, our buddy Rick does suggest to maybe try keto before you jump into
Mhm.
carnivore, especially if you're coming from vegetarian, vegan, because it
Yeah,
might be very hard on your stomach.
yeah,
So that's, maybe try keto. And then if you're into keto, try ketovore and carnivore.
yeah, absolutely.
Rick says, good to know people have been watching my interviews. Yeah, we watch Rick. There's only one 40-year carnivore. You know what I'm
Well,
saying?
shouldn't it go to 41 or 42 at some point?
Oh man, I'm sure he's gonna make it. He's gonna be the 80-year carnivore, like Rick's gonna be outlasting everybody. But you guys, I had a blast. Jeff, would you come back sometime?
Absolutely. Yeah, I'd like to interview you. So maybe the next go around, we can do the same thing, be on all the channels, but I ask you all the questions and
Absolutely.
tell me
Just
about your journey.
if you want, just pick a one of my available dates in my digital calendar, and then maybe just put in the notes that it's for your channel, and I'll know
Super.
that day I'm busy.
Yeah. Yeah. All right.
Yeah. Well, you
Sounds
guys
good.
expect that. Expect him to be back on here and expect me to be on his channel. That sounds great.
Yep.
I had fun. You guys, my coach always says the first law of learning is repetition. So please replay this. There's value in Jeff. There's value in his story. We're not just here gassing it up for no reason, man, because I heard from Kerry his story and it helped really change my life. So that's why we're sharing these stories. We're out here. We're not making millions of bucks doing this right now, but we're out here sharing stories and we're changing lives. So please replay this, even if it's yourself, or replay it for a friend or something. That's cool too.
Yeah,
Hit the like
absolutely.
button if you didn't subscribe to Jeff or my channels yet, because sometimes I do check the analytics and people are watching that aren't subscribed. So um, please subscribe to both channels, you guys, and I appreciate the support. And Jeff, you
Absolutely.
too. I appreciate you coming on sharing your story.
Yeah. Thank you, JT. Thank you, everybody who asked a question and shared advice. We appreciate you all.
Yep.
Have a good night.
Thank you and goodbye, guys.